Awesome. So we're live. Go ahead and shoot me over the live link so that I can post it in Twitter.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I'll go to Gmail. Here we go. That's on its way. I just emailed it to you.
Oh, okay, that works.
Oh, and I was able to enable the Q&A section. You have to do it before you're in the actual video.
Oh, okay, that works.
Section. So yeah.
Oh, dude, this is the Hangouts stuff. There should be a link to the YouTube, and you can put it in our Hangouts chat that we have going on. And are you like rolling around your mic? Is it on its side and it's just like rolling around in a wind tunnel? My gosh.
No, I just moved it though.
Okay. I was like, what is going on in my ears?
Oh, where the heck did it just go? I just had it up. Oh, here. This is it? Yeah.
Do 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 do.
The YouTube page. Here we go. Should be it.
Did you email it to me again?
No, I sent it through the chat.
Oh, here we go. It did. It worked. It's fine.
Cool.
All right, here we go. All right, ready to go. Let's go ahead and pop up the Q&A section here so I can see it as well. Oh, my apologies. I've been actually not feeling too well.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
It's all good in the head.
Right.
All right, let's go ahead and start the official show at 6:35 sharp.
Okay, so it looks like actually the video to audio is good. So just checking it on my phone there.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Cameron Abbott, the unsexiest comedian that you know and the man whose face was built for radio. I'm here with Chandler Duggar, the co-founder of Knotty Gamers with me, and we are here for the live episode 19 of our post E3 prediction results, as well as miscellaneous information about how we felt about what we saw there. And by what we saw there, I mean what we saw on the internet broadcast from there, because we ain't big enough. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to bensound.com. Bensound.com, of course, is our official intro and outro specialist, I suppose. Not really specialist. He allows us to use his music so long as we tell people where it came from. So for the intro and outro of our audio version, the Shut Up and Sit Down music that you hear is called Actionable. It's from bensound.com. I have kind of not really mentioned that in the last few episodes, so I wanted to give bensound.com a shout out right there. Now, second up is the fact that we had some amazing coverage coming out of E3. Just bien. But during the course of the week, I just kind of noticed, I went through some of our analytics. I posted on Twitter a little bit about them. And just how awesome it is. I realized just how much we've grown since we started back in March of this year. Since we really started, Chandler and I really started building this company out back in January.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. While it's not the explosive growth everybody hopes to see, it has been an amazing journey so far, just seeing it. To our stalwart and passionate fans that we have in Romania and other places in Eastern Europe. We always make jokes about we got that one fan in Romania, but the truth of the matter is I think we have 2 fans there now, and if there's more, that's awesome. You guys are amazing. Looking over it, I just realized that we have people in Singapore, we have people in Australia. We have people all over the world who are listening to our stuff, watching our YouTube videos. And it really strikes a really special chord in my heart, and I'm sure it strikes a chord in Chandler's, the abyss from where his heart once came.
Something like that.
It really lets us know that we do have people out there listening, which is the biggest motivation that we could possibly ask for. So thank you for that. When I was at Kind of Funny Live, I asked Greg Miller why he always said thank you to people. Instead of saying goodbye, he said thank you. And he said, oh, well, I couldn't do what I do in my life if it wasn't for people like you.
Right, yeah.
And there was more to that conversation that was a little bit more personal, but it wasn't until I looked over our analytics earlier this week that I really understood it. I'm so thankful for you guys out there. And as I'm recovering from being sick, so I'm kind of a little bit out of it, it makes sense why I'm going off on this for such a long time. But the fact of the matter is that you guys drive us. Chandler and I are covering E3 and talking about E3 because, I mean, if it was just the 2 of us, we'd just talk about it on our own. But the fact that there's people out there listening to our conversation means so much to us, and more than words can really express. But with that kind of that house cleaning taken care of, Chandler, let's go into the show. Now, of course, Chandler, he is one half of the Knotty Gamers duo. Chandler has been swamped, and I'm so grateful that Chandler has the opportunity now to be here with us today. Like I said out in our tweets earlier, just the quality of product that we could have delivered to you guys earlier this week would not have been adequate, but I'm happy to say that today it is. So
yeah, absolutely.
So let's go ahead and get things started just with our E3 predictions. Now, over the course of the big announcement over Sunday and Monday last week, I kind of did some post-show videos. I did a day 2 post-show as well as a day 1 post-E3 post-Bethesda conferences. Mm-hmm. Just kind of first impressions, gave kind of preliminaries of where our scores were at. Now, big question is wondering who, in fact, won the E3 predictions. I'm wondering it, you're wondering it, we're all wondering it. Well, I'm not wondering anymore. So after going through with Chandler before the show started, just seeing where things were at as far as what counted, what did not count, making sure our predictions were aligned with what I believed were the predictions during the course of the week and what they are now for finalized. So first and foremost, we're just going to go through this really quickly. We've kind of gone through it quite a bit, so I don't think you guys want to hear any more about our predictions. But Chandler, for EA, had Titanfall 2. He said there'd be a trailer there as well as a holiday 2017. Or sorry, holiday. What was it? 2017 announcement? You said?
I said 2017.
Holiday 2017. We did not get an announcement. However, we did get a trailer that had actually a ton of content in it. So
yeah,
props to Chandler for getting that half point. And then he followed it up. Now, I told Chandler we're not going to see Sims at E3. And Chandler told me to shut my whore mouth, that I didn't understand the Sims community. And then I admittedly said, yeah, that's right. I mean, I believe in the episode there was a little bit of a diatribe where I basically confessed that, like, when there are no morals around in the Sims universe, I become a sexual deviant. Which is hilarious because there's no way I could possibly have the opportunities to become a sexual deviant in real life. So, but Chandler got half a point. We saw a substantial amount of EA Sports. My word. A substantial amount. FIFA. FIFA is going to have a story mode this year. And not only that, but the story mode looks interesting. This idea of just like some like up and comer who's now just going to be like playing in the pros. I mean, that's awesome. It's way better than that they've done in the past with their sports franchises. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll be interested to see what comes out of it. Now, Chandler, I banked heavily on Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, did anybody but me notice that like most of their trailer was actually like real life space footage and had absolutely nothing to do with their game?
Yeah, that's a fair point, actually.
Like, my gosh, everybody's like, man, I'm so pumped for Mass Effect Andromeda. And I'm like, why? We saw like 3 things that actually came from the game that weren't like people working on the game, designing it on their tablet. It's like, oh,
right.
Does not look good. And they were like, yeah, this writer person's basically going to be your shepherd. And I'm like, okay. Interestingly enough, all right, whatever. They didn't give me any information about the timeline. Didn't give me any real information about the character in the conference. They gave some information afterwards, but I don't count that. They didn't show us anything about the people that we'd be facing. They showed up, which was like 0.25% of my prediction. And then we had Battlefield 1 where I got a smash, just kind of a grand slam on my predictions. I kind of had mine broken out, but I got all of them, which was really great. Just because Battlefield 1, I think, needed that. Mm-hmm. They had a big, after their conference, they had a big live like match, 3 matches of teams, the English versus the Germans. And they had some crazy stuff going on, man. I'm telling you, the gunship, the Zeppelins that can come down and just tear apart your entire area. Oh, it looks awesome. But that aside, so we came out of that. I came out of that 0.25 points ahead, just because of Mass Effect. I'm telling you, man, if you had not. I'm going to be completely honest with you, man. I think going with the Sims being so passionate that the Sims were going to be there might have undid it for you. Moving on to the Bethesda conference, we had, let's see, you got, Nuka World. So you actually went really kind of interesting in your prediction for Bethesda. You said that they were going to give a chunk of time over to Gigabytes and talking about mods, which they kind of did in their own little way, but they didn't talk about the gigabyte increase, which kind of made you in the ass there.
Right.
But they did talk about Nuka World. Not only that, but Nuka World looks really interesting.
It does. It does.
Is it like your hub? You get to build out Nuka World, or like what is it? I'm curious.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, from the the small bits that we did see, and what I understand is basically it's a theme park that was part of the. Before the war, basically.
Yeah, pre-war theme
park. But now it's controlled by raiders, so you're probably going to have a whole quest line to clear it out first, and then probably try to rebuild it or sections of it or stuff or something like that. And it's probably going to go hand in hand with the new workshop mods that they have coming out too, the whole conveyor systems and stuff like that.
I can see that being the case. The conveyor system looks very interesting. Like the way that they're doing it now, it's like, man, that's actually, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Afterwards, let's put a pin in it right now, but I get an idea about a new Let's Play series concerning Fallout. So
there you go.
Moving on from that, then you banked hard on Elder Scrolls Online and you won it. Like, holy crap.
Mm.
You got your full point, but man, they covered everything that you said they would. I mean, new expansion trailer, new details about the updates coming out. Like, you nailed it piece by piece. I was actually kind of shocked, but just that they were going into so much detail about a game that they literally had to pay somebody $1 million to play the game. Like, let's look at this. They're like, yeah, this is such a great MMO. It was named like #1 MMO last year and everything like that. And I'm thinking to myself, didn't you have to pay somebody $1 million? Wasn't that a competition that you put out there to get people to play your really shitty MMO?
I didn't have that much fun with it.
I did not either. I played about the first like 10 minutes and I said, nope, done.
I played a little bit longer than that, but yeah, the stories just kind of jumble, and I really didn't have any drive to actually want to play it, so I stopped.
Yeah, I feel you with that, man. I feel you on that. But you really nailed that prediction. Now, I was unsure. Now, not only was you convinced me to go off of my Doom DLC prediction because you were like, it's just out, like da-da-da, and I was like, all right, Quake's going to be my prediction then.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I nailed it on both parts on that.
Yeah, they announced Quake. Absolutely. So.
And Doom DLC. Like, actually, and the thing is, they're saying, like, oh, by the way, on consoles, you'll be able to, like, create your own maps and everything like that. And I'm like, holy shit, like, this is awesome stuff. Like, man, I'm really excited. I don't own Doom, and I don't probably plan on buying Quake, but I'm just glad that is a game that came back that people are passionate about. Right. That is just really kind of digging more ground into arena shooters. Mm-hmm. Arena shooters has kind of been this ruin that kind of TF2 has been the only thing out there for it. And to now bounce back into it so heavily, I mean, we might be seeing Unreal in the future too, which would be crazy.
That would be interesting, yeah.
Because the people over at who made Unreal just decided just to make engines, which is where we get the Unreal engines.
Right.
But it's kind of crazy to think that maybe we might be seeing a new Unreal game in the future. No, that's just my kind of like pie in the sky. I did not hear any news about that. But it'd be cool. Then Dishonored. Oh my gosh, Dishonored 2 looks so good.
It does.
I want it now. But you could actually see that they have a little bit more polishing that they have to do on it. Some things aren't as smooth as they need to be, which is not as smooth as they were in Dishonored 1. So I'm thinking that that's definitely polishing that's going to have to go into it, making things feel a little bit smoother. But I mean, that's just fine-tuning a couple of things. Fixing bugs that kind of came up here and there that I kind of saw. The way that when she did one time when Emily was doing a like assassin kill, like the knife kind of jutted out of her hand for a second, which was odd, but just bugs.
Yeah, I noticed some of those things too, but I absolutely agree with you. So
it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I love that Corvo still is going to have his old power set.
Yeah, that was cool.
What's actually really interesting is that I found out that if you play Emily's storyline, the Queen's storyline, you can say no to the outsider.
Oh, really? I must have missed that.
People in the back, that were given kind of like a behind shut doors, behind closed doors kind of previews of it and playthroughs on it. They said, like, you have the ability to just say no to the outsider about taking powers. So based off your own skill alone, I guess you have to do that. But that's going to be interesting. And the way that they start the game out, it makes sense. Because I was curious I said, there's definitely got to be clues there to tell you why you can play both characters, why you only play as one. And it's made very clear that there's a coup going on, and one of you stays behind to get the other out, or something like that happens. So that'll be interesting. Moving on to Microsoft, you predicted HoloLens would be there.
I know.
You got fucked on that one, man. Oh, dude.
Yeah, I did.
You got screwed hard on that one. I mean, dude, you were like, yeah, we'll have HoloLens there, and we made kind of fun of it that last year was fake.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's still fake. So
yeah, it's still fake.
But then you nailed Scorpio, dude. You kind of knocked it out of the park with Scorpio.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of a Scorpio though. You said I don't think they'll have like the design of it there. Like, we won't see that. And I was like, I'll take that. I'll take that little bit. Mine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I got a 0.5 on. I did not get my full point on Discordia, though, which is unfortunate. And then we had, you and I talked about it, Halo. I said we see the next Halo, but I mentioned that it'd be like Halo 6.
Yeah.
You were very generous. You gave me half a point on that because Halo will be there, or was there.
Right.
But it wasn't, and it was a new Halo in an existing Halo franchise. It just wasn't the one we thought.
Right.
So appreciate that. Moving on to the Ubisoft conference, Tom Clancy Wildlands. Let's talk about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Right.
I want to play that game so bad.
I know.
Everything that I had problems with the Division with, about like the scaling, end game scaling, DPS, all that stuff, out the window. No problems here.
Yeah.
This looks like a game that is like, yeah, you are going to be playing like you'd play the Division.
Right.
This is another date game with your friends. Like,
right.
What are we all playing the Division? Or I remember because it's like, we're all playing the Division tonight, right? Yeah. And then we'd get to the end of the game and it was just like, are you playing the Division anymore? And you guys are like, yeah, we're still playing it. It's like, I'm not.
Yeah. Right.
But this game looks like the kind of game where it's like, oh, I haven't played it in a couple weeks. Oh, you guys are going to be playing though? I'll hop on.
Right.
And it's not that gap. It's not that huge gap, which is going to be nice. Moving on to the Division. You predicted Division raids.
Mm-hmm.
There were no announcements of Division raids.
So, from my understanding, I did some research on that, and I think that they are technically counting the incursions as raids. So
there's just a talk now of expanding it from 4-man to 8-man incursions. Then maybe.
There was no really mention of expanding it out to that. So maybe in the before it was released, and now you realizing that they couldn't do 8-man raids or something like that. I might have just missed that information. So, all
right, no, I mean, hey, it happens, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that you were kind of playing that from the heart there.
Mm-hmm.
Then Watch Dogs 2. Holy crap, does that game look awesome?
It does.
Unfortunately, I felt like it kind of got. I kind of felt like it was placed kind of in an odd place in the Ubisoft conference. I mean, that is a conference that had no idea what the word pacing means.
Yeah.
That pacing was all over the damn place. The moment they brought in VR and did a demonstration on stage on it, It was just like, this pacing is horrible. Anyway, but Watch Dogs 2, I felt like had a great trailer. It had some great gameplay. They really went into exactly what I said they would. They went into about the weapon that he uses. They went into the kind of way that he does things, the way the story's working out. They just are really doing a great job with that, I felt. And then The Division, I said they'd have the expansion there. I'd say that they would take you outside of Manhattan. We have found out that is false. It's taking you further into Manhattan, underground.
Right.
I tried to get a full point out of that by saying, no, it's still outside of Manhattan. You're like, no. It's in Manhattan. Under Manhattan is still in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So, fair enough. So I got half of that right with the expansion talk. I also got right that they're continuing the story. It looks like there's new gangs that were underground the entire time that are going to be coming back up. So we're going to see kind of like the underground coming back up to take on kind of that bulwark that you made in the first Division game, or the first beta, or the vanilla Division game. And kind of like you've dominated pretty much all but the dark zone of Manhattan, and now underground is coming up to try to like force you out. So, and it looks like that's where the real infighting has been going on. So we've just been kind of seeing the skirmishes on the outside. So cool story expansion. Looks like that's where what's his name? The guy who stole the virus after what's his name killed himself.
All right. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Yeah. The rogue agent, the one rogue agent that survived all the other first wave agents.
It was like Aaron something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he went underground, and that's kind of going to be you're going to be following the breadcrumbs, taking you further underground and taking on Aaron. So that's cool. And the way they talked about stuff, it kind of got me. The way you were talking about stuff last week, I might get into the division again. We'll have to wait and see.
Sure.
Now let's move on to the one conference that was probably the best conference, but it fucked us. Let's talk about the Sony conference. Sony conference, we both predicted heavily on the Neo. We got nothing. So a day after we record, like the morning after we record, we get the press announcement comes out. The Neo is real. It will not be at E3.
Yeah. It's awful.
But then I was like, well, Destiny will still be there, and Destiny was there, just not anywhere in the capacity that I thought they would be.
Uh-huh.
So I got no points for the Sony conference. You, however, nailed Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Everything that you predicted came true. It was there. And I felt you were kind of reaching with your Horizon Zero Dawn talk, but you nailed it piece by piece, dude. Not only that, but I am a believer in Zero Dawn now. Horizon Zero Dawn looks phenomenal. I'm in.
Oh, yeah, it looks so good.
It looks amazing. I just love this. I was like, well, I mean, the best part about it, I think, is the fact that there is a female main character, but that doesn't matter. Your female main character, literally, it matters nothing at all that she is female. It's just a part of her character. It's not the defining trait of her character, which is something that I feel it's done so well when it's done well. Like when they do it right, it's phenomenal, but when they do it wrong, it's terrible.
Right, just having a female be the lead just because she's female or whatever.
Exactly, being female is her defining trait. Mm-hmm. Versus, I think, like Lara Croft in the new Lara Croft games, her defining trait is that she's adventurous, that she's out there looking, she's an archaeologist, she's driven to do what she's going to do. That's how she always comes off in the trailers and the gameplay stuff that I've seen. Mm-hmm. Her being a woman is secondary, or even thirdary? Tridary? I don't know how.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, it's further back. It doesn't matter that she's a woman. It matters that she's gritty and capable and able to do something. And that really came across even more so in Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, just constantly like, oh, I'm going to go out past our borders. All right, if you say so. No, oh, but you're a woman.
Right.
No, none of that. Okay, you're a capable person. You can take care of yourself. Oh, the village is going to be destroyed because of a demon.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't go back there. You're a woman. Nothing like that. They never bring up gender, which is really interesting because I think this world that we're going to be seeing is a lot less, gender. Gender is a primary feature of where you are at in society.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we'll be seeing much more of a more balanced social structure.
Yeah, from the trailer that I mean I haven't watched it in a couple days, but I remember at one point they're talking to what looked like the elders of the village or whatever, and I think the one person she was talking to or that was in the forefront of the shot was an elderly woman, and I think there was a man in the background. So I think you're right. This whole concept of gender equality or whatever is something that they just don't really need to bring up because people of the tribe support the tribe. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or child or old. You do what you have to survive. So, which is, I always enjoy it when that is the main focus of a post-apocalyptic world where it's just it doesn't matter what your gender is. The matter is, do you survive or not? Right, absolutely.
I don't know. I just felt that was amazing. Oh my gosh, God of War.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
It's not oh, Kratos, I rage. You get a much more humble Kratos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, your mother is dead, boy. He's still hard. He's still harsh. He's still he's still Kratos, but this is an older Kratos. This is a much older Kratos. Somebody said something about it being a reboot, but I don't see that. I see this taking place far after the fall of the Grecian empires, which kind of correlates with the fall of the Grecian gods. The Olympian pantheon is gone because you killed them.
Right. I mean, that makes sense because the troll thing or whatever mentions Valhalla. Those are Celtic runes that you see all over the place on like the rocks and even on his axe.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Or Nordic runes, even possibly. Like we're gonna get to a mix of that whole, kind of that whole northwestern Europe, kind of at that brink of coming out, where you have like the Nordic, you have the Nordic tribes and Vikings and everything, that you get the runes of the Nordic tribes. We're probably going to be getting a real heavy Nordic feeling to it. We might get some Celtic or Anglo-Saxon, like some sort of Saxon feeling to it, maybe even.
Right.
So we have a lot, like there's a lot of potential there. And it's cool though, is that Kratos gets shot by his kid.
I know.
It's just like, I'm sorry. And it's just like,
it doesn't even phase him too. That was like the coolest thing. He's just like, kids.
He's just like, it's all right. Like, come on, we have to go back and hunt this deer. Like, we just murdered a troll, like a mythical creature. But, my job out here isn't to kill trolls. It's to make sure that you know what you need to be doing in order to survive, because you're my son.
Right.
Which is really cool. Like, I am digging that whole bearded adult Kratos, this whole idea that he's just like, you're my son. The way that he, like, in the beginning of it, I was like, is he just like taking care of a friend's kid? And then I realized that he, like, over the course of while they're running around and doing stuff, he's kind of calling him son. There's that point at the end of the trailer where he's just like, he's about to put his hand on his shoulder to like I'm proud of you moment. Yeah. Like this is a proud moment for me, for you. But you can see that he's still like unable to connect to other people that way. Like he's still working on himself while he's trying to be a decent father. It really brings out this humanity in Kratos that I felt was there kind of in the first game. In the first game, was he angry? Yes, he was very angry, but he was angry at his circumstances. At the end of the game, he's like, I can't be forgiven for my sins. I have to kill myself. And then they're like, no, we're going to make you a god. And that totally disrupts everything for him. And then when you, like, the Ghost of Sparta, I think is the game. It's like the PSP God of War game, where they go into a little bit about Kratos' like family. So in between God of War 1 and 2, they kind of did this PSP game where it's like the family of Kratos, his mother and his brother are in that game. His brother was actually taken because of a prophecy that Kratos would end up fulfilling. Very, very interesting stuff. And it actually leads into why Kratos is the way he is in God of War 2, which is cool. But I think that was kind of like a retrospect, going back into it and telling that story to kind of explain away some things. But it kind of makes sense because everything about Kratos' humanity got stripped out of him in the first game. So what are you supposed to root for? Just an asshole?
With swords on chains.
Yeah, but what I loved is that he doesn't have the swords on chains.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't have any of that. He's like this really, and then they have like the angry meter, like his son. Like,
yeah, I saw that. That was cool.
His son, it's like, just like calm down. I'm like, oh, it's like, it's so cool that he has this like angry meter that will dictate things. And like you get like this loud Kratos voice when he gets angry.
Yeah.
But my gosh,
and then you can like unleash like the Spartan rage or whatever. Yeah, they had that option when he was fighting the troll.
Oh, we got knocked
off. I think we just lost you. Oh, there you go. You're back. Okay, cool.
We're good. Okay. I was like, what just happened? 1 second, I'm gonna let people know. Anyway, so Kratos looks awesome. God of War, the new God of War game looks phenomenal. Quick second, I'm just gonna let everybody know that
some technical issues.
Yep. Out. Strong. Here we go. All right. Yeah, no, just it's been awesome. Sony's conference was awesome, even though we both got hosed real bad out of it. So are you ready for the final score?
Yeah, lay it on me.
Your kindness was your undoing, Chandler.
I figured it was.
Chandler, you came in with 5.5 out of a possible 10.
Okay.
And I came out with a 5.75 out of a possible 10.
It was too nice.
I was too nice. I could have been mean to you too. Don't.
That's
This was a two-way street, buddy. But no, I mean honestly, what it came down to is you picked The Sims. You said The Sims are going to be there. If you just said like, "Where we're going to see sports," like that really safe prediction.
Yeah.
You would have won. So.
Got to live dangerously or something. I don't know.
But still, I mean, no, like that was a great E3 press conference wise. I mean, as far as like pacing goes, people, I got really upset at people because they're like, Bethesda's whole like Dishonored 2 ruined their pacing. I'm like, are you kidding me? The door is over there. Like it's over there. Get out. This was for me. I got so upset. I was just like, I almost went full Kratos on him. But
there you go.
I chilled. Like Kratos, I too have learned how to be an adult. But you know, great time there. I mean, they had great stuff going on all week. I mean, oh my gosh, Chandler. Oh, I want Persona 5 so badly. So they announced that Persona 5 had been officially delayed to 2017, February 14th. I'm so glad I don't have a girlfriend. Because that girl would be getting kicked out. Go to your own place. Are you kidding me? I don't need any of this here. I don't need any of your love. I got Persona 5. Didn't it look so good? Oh, it looks so good. Everything about it looks so good. So good.
Yeah, I liked how it was. Everything was a lot more open than it was in. I mean, and this is coming from. I've only played Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah.
So I can't speak for the rest of the games, but I liked how, 5 they had that whole like mantra of like him going in and out of all of these different shops, and it was like this huge area. And so I was like,
oh yeah, this is bigger than anything else they've ever done. This is a full Tokyo scape here. So it looks like you have an entire district of Tokyo just to run around in.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
Is amazing. Just amazing. I'm so excited. You have like part-time jobs that if you do well at, like you get bonuses and everything. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
It cannot come fast enough. I need it here in my body now. I need that Persona in my body so much. Anyway, it's been an amazing E3. We have a bunch of stuff that, I mean, just there's so much that we can talk about. We should definitely talk about Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 is coming out in September. We've talked about that before. But I mean, we have so much that is just waiting for us further down this year. I mean, I've never been more excited from an E3.
Right. Absolutely. So
there was just a lot of ways. Sony, I think, won E3 as far as the press conferences go. They literally brought out he came out with his shadow as Crash Bandicoot. He came out with an orchestra playing of Crash Bandicoot.
That was so good.
They're like, yeah, Crash Bandicoot's going to be in Skylanders. That's nice. Here's what we're going to get, though. PlayStation only, Crash 1, 2, and Warped are coming to PS4.
Yeah, remastered.
Remastered from the ground up.
So good. I know one person especially who's super psyched about that. Scott. Oh my gosh. As soon as they announced that, I was like, oh, Scott is probably flipping right now.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure like he just can't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's probably wondering, he's like, what, am I on anything right now? No, oh my gosh. Like Crash, he's going to be so excited.
Yeah.
Say what you want about the fans of Crash Bandicoot. They are passionate and loyal.
Oh, absolutely.
My word. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm trying to think of Final Fantasy 15. I'm really excited for it. During E3, the second episode of Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood, their anime show, where they kind of break down the relationship of the four guys. It breaks down episode 2, Prompto, the blonde kind of pretty boy. It goes into his past, and oh my gosh, his past was great. Because let me tell you what. It turns out, so this is like the best part about this, is that they're like, yeah, in this anime episode, we're going to see like how Prompto became friends with like Prince Noctis and all that stuff. And as it turns out, he's a foreign student who came to live in the city, and he basically lived by himself. And he used to like just take pictures all the time. And would you believe it? He was a little fat kid in middle school. He was a little fat piece of shit. And he used to always like take pictures of everything, of like all these cute animals and like scenic stuff that he used to see, all sorts of stuff. And so it's like this pretty boy that everybody's like in love with from the new game. Turns out that he used to be a little pudgy fat boy. And it's because of just kind of an offhanded comment made by Prince Noctis. He realizes like in order to like become friends with the prince, like this letter aspect, I won't go into the details. I have to like get in shape and lose weight so I can't be a burden on him. And so he like loses a bunch of weight. And it's adorable. It's super adorable. And it's like, oh. And it's like the first day that he's like first day of high school, he's ready to become friends with him. He like starts like palling around with him immediately. And the prince is just like, oh, hey, didn't you used to be fat? It's like, yeah, great. It's too good. It's too good. Like, it's this immediate understanding that, like, I said an offhanded comment once upon a time, and you've taken that seriously, and you're going to be my friend now. It's, like, awesome.
There you go. Yeah.
It's good stuff. It makes me even more excited for the game. Makes me more excited for more episodes of the anime that they're doing. More excited for Kingsglaive, the animated film that they're doing, where Sean Bean is the voice of the king. Are you kidding me? Yes, please.
Oh, yeah.
Like straight up, Aaron Paul is the voice of like the lead character of the game, or of the animated movie, the CGI animated movie. Looks gorgeous. Everything about this entire series looks gorgeous. It looks like they're like, we know we've made you wait way too damn long. We're giving you everything we can about this.
Right.
So that, like, you're not gonna see Final Fantasy 15 stuff ever again. We're giving it all to you now. And it's like, well, you know what, Square, thank you. Move on to Final Fantasy 16, and we'll see that in like 18 years. Good to know.
Right. Right.
But like the gameplay that they decided to show at the Xbox conference, I thought it looked a little janky until I realized the guy was trying to like do precise movements with his weapons and like this weapon throw, and he was trying to be precise with it, but the lag between his controller and his monitor, it was too much. Like he was missing it all the time. And I was like, oh, it makes it look like it plays rough, like it doesn't look good. But I've seen this be done by other people before, and it looked fine. And so it looks like it was just a lag there. But I mean, I'm curious to see how it turns out. I'm excited for it. Will it live up to the hype? Probably not. But
it never does.
It never does. It'll be good, though. I think it'll still be good. It just won't be as great as it needs to be as long as it's been gestating. And I think that's what we're also going to see with The Last Guardian. Last Guardian is coming out this year in December. We're going to see it this year. There's no way it can live up to the hype that's been building up around it for 12 years.
Right.
Ever since Shadow of the Colossus came out, ever since they announced this game. I mean, there's no way that they're going to be able to fulfill that hype. So it's just going to be a good game. It might even be a great game. These games might be great games, but at the end of the day, they have to be beyond that, and I don't think they can.
Right.
If they can, phenomenal, but that'll be, I mean, they have a better chance of hell freezing over than
there you go.
Than that. So take what you will out of it. I'm being a little bit pessimistic here, but maybe I shouldn't be pessimistic here because Insomniac is making a Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Is it
That's right.
Insomniac that's making it or Sucker Punch? I'm trying to remember.
Oh no, I think it is Sucker Punch actually.
Let me check real quick. I need to be
Yeah.
sure about this, 100% sure, because oh my word. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure we get this 100% correct. Yeah, okay. 1 second, help me.
You got it?
Nope, 1 second. Spider-Man game. And it is coming out from Insomniac.
Okay.
So Insomniac, of course, is I believe that's the studio that brings you. Yeah, Insomniac is the studio that brings you such games as Spyro, Ratchet and Clank. We saw Ratchet and Clank, the reboot from them earlier this year, which was a phenomenal game. For the $40 price tag that it was beyond more than what you needed from it. Phenomenal game. Phenomenal studio, really. They have a lot of stuff that they're putting out in the coming future. Song of the Deep is coming out I'm trying to remember. It's coming out either end of this year or beginning of next year. I'm not really remembering which one. They came out with Sunset Overdrive for Microsoft, a game that really got a lot of accolades.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. I mean, they put out a lot of stuff. They're, of course, famous for the Resistance series.
Right.
You have the Sunset Overdrive, Song of the Deep, Ratchet and Clank. They have games coming out for the Oculus Rift, and now they're officially working on. Not only are they officially working on it, but they've been working on this apparently for a while. From what I gather from people who have access to the insiders in the industry, they've been working on it for a while. What we saw in their trailers was, in fact, gameplay footage.
Right.
So, I mean, we're going to have what looks to be a really cool, and I believe Insomniac is the studio to do this. So, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Did anything from the show stick out to you? Like, either in the conferences, outside of the conferences? I mean, there's really no way for us to actually, not having been there, really give you all the information you need for the E3 conferences. You can go to other outlets. But for you, Chandler, was there anything that you saw in the news about E3 that really stuck out to you?
There was a couple things that was announced that I really was, really hyped about. I was only able to watch highlight reels of the conferences. I just haven't had time to sit down and watch each, hour and a half long, whatever. And, wait till the end here, but Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course it would. That terrible pace demo. Oh my gosh.
Hey, from a concept idea, I think it's great. Do I think it needs work from what they showed? Oh, absolutely. But
oh, absolutely. Even though this game looks like the way they're talking about it, it's going to be coming out soon.
Right, exactly. I mean, yes, things did seem a little bit janky. The technical term there, but the idea of it, I think, is a good idea. I think this will spur more, other, not necessarily Star Trek games, but other similar type of co-op group VR games. So,
well, I think what you're running into though is look at that price and like that entry point. Oh, I need 4 friends to play this. So we have 5 people. They all need Oculus, or they all need Vive, or whatever the hell they needed for it. I mean, we're talking this where they're going to need machines to run them. They're going to need. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going into this.
That's true.
I mean, you're looking at what your price point being $1,500-$1,600.
Easily, yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool idea, but I think what we saw taking the same concept as far as the co-op ship-based traversing gameplay and actually made it work was the what was it? It was like what is that game from Microsoft? Microsoft had a big they had a bunch of Let's Players come in and do it. I'm trying to remember what they did. Microsoft E3 conference. Trying to remember exactly what they had going on there. Let's see here. Sea of Thieves. They had Sea of Thieves go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Sea of Thieves looked like a much funner version of that.
But
I can't see. I need somebody else to pilot because I'm piloting, but I can't see beyond my sails. Somebody tell me which direction I need to go.
That's true. But that wasn't necessarily VR, though.
No, it wasn't VR, but I mean...
Yeah. But, yeah, I agree with you that whole concept was very interesting, very, watching the kind of clips or whatever, or, they sunk that one crew or whatever, and the whole ship just flips over, and but yeah, absolutely. So, but
I think the problem that you're still going to run into with this Star Trek, it's not really a game; it's an experience. And while I admit that that's fine, like I'm fine with it just being an experience that you play through. That's fine. That's cool. That's this whole thing about like, oh, you guys, let's have this experience together. This sounds like if you went to a place that had a bunch of VR stuff and you all paid, $30
or something. Yeah, absolutely.
We're all real big, Star Trek fans. Let's spend $30. We'll drop $30. We'll go to this place that has enough VR headsets for everybody. We'll play through it this way. And that's a good thing to do on a weekend, maybe once a month as a group of friends that really love Star Trek. I can see that being a thing, but for the people who you're really getting into this Venn diagram of this middle people who will buy VR, people who love Star Trek, and people who will have enough interest in getting all of the stuff and money needed together to do it, and having enough. Let me rephrase this last one: having the friends who also have both those interests, all meeting up this little Venn diagram, just doesn't really fit with the general mass audience. Which is why I don't think we'll see it polished any more than it is. But I mean, at the same time, it has the Geordie LaForge, stamp of approval. It's good. I'm sure for the Star Trek fans out there, it's going to be good. But for somebody who is not within this little Venn diagram niche, I'm not going to fit into it. So,
understandable. Yeah, absolutely. So.
You will, though.
Yeah, and I might be the only one of our friends who fits in there, which I'll just have to play by myself. I
don't think it's a might. I think it's most definitely. The thing is it a LAN experience, or can you do it online so you and 4 other people who will also buy this game can do it?
I don't know.
We'll see. But I think it also speaks heavily to the future of VR, not just being in games. This isn't a game so much as it's an experience. And it's the same thing with the Batman VR that got a lot of people's game of the show, because it made you feel like Batman more than anything else ever has before. And it's this experience. Going to Mars with the Vive, doing these sorts of things that are just are they technically games? Sure. But more than that, they are... more than that, they're experiences.
Right, absolutely.
And is that something amazing that is the future of VR? Not necessarily that it's games, but it's the gaming experience within that, then maybe. But I don't know. We'll have to see. It's still a new frontier. Pardon the pun. Anything else that stood out to you?
There was another one. I think it was Dual Stars or something. I'm spacing on the name now. But it was... I think it was announced on the PC PC Gamers conference or something like that.
Oh, the conference that nobody cared about to broadcast.
Basically, this company or this new game that was announced is basically everything Space Engineers was trying to be, and they've promised this huge, list, this huge list of features, and I've watched some videos on it, and people are like, how in the world are they going to do this? Basically, it's an MMO with voxel based building, and mining resources, so the planets and stuff like that are destructible and whatever. Single shard universe. Everybody's going to be in the same universe. They're boasting hundreds of players on ships, and everything that I've seen about it, I'm thinking, great, this is fantastic. How are you doing this again?
Exactly. I was about to say, that sounds like a lot of smoke coming out of a specific orifice. That
right. Yeah, absolutely. And so, I mean, the only thing we can really do is wait and see at this point. Maybe they come through on it. Maybe they have to scale back down on what they're promising. But
yeah, scale back from the impossible. That sounds like a reasonable thing. That could
right, right. But yeah, so we'll have to see on that one. And it just looked really interesting. Basically, guy built this spaceship, blasted off into space. Zoom past a space station and then onto another planet without any loading, without any buffering, and it was all done in it was all alpha, but it was all done in game engine. So,
well, I mean, it's not like a major corporation has ever done a massive presentation and had it all been lies before.
Very true. Like I said, I am skeptical on it. It just.
I know. You lead with your heart, Chandler.
Yes, I do.
And you want this badly inside of you. But yeah, no, I get it, Chandler. Moving on to, is there anything else? I'm trying to think if there was anything else from E3 that really stuck out to me. Oh, duh. What am I thinking? What the hell am I thinking, Chandler? We're forgetting some of the biggest news of all time.
Yeah, I know we're forgetting a lot, actually.
No, this is the biggest news that we could have possibly ever forgotten, and I keep on reminding myself internally 5 or 6 times now. South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Oh, right. That one.
Holy crap, that game looks phenomenal. If you pre-order it on Steam, Microsoft, or Xbox Live, PlayStation Store, if you basically order it through something that you actually have to pay the physical money first to pre-order something, you will get a PS4 or next gen, or current gen version of the Stick of Truth.
Okay.
I will do this after I get paid at the end of the month. I will be purchasing it from my PS4, and I will be playing that because I will platinum the Stick of Truth.
There you go.
I got 90% of the achievements off Steam, but you don't get trophies from that.
Right.
But I promise you, my first platinum will be, if not Persona 4 Golden, it will be
Stick of Truth.
Stick of Truth.
There you go.
Stick of Truth will be my first one. I will do it because it deserves to be done. That game is so good. So good. All right, but I think that's it for our E3 coverage, post E3 coverage. If there's anything else you feel like you need to talk about, let's talk.
Oh, yeah. What did you think of the Xbox One S or Slim or whatever it is?
It seems viable. It seems like something that I might buy, but why would I buy it if the Scorpio is coming out soon?
That's that's true. That's true.
It's the same thing. Why? And I'll be completely honest with you. Let's talk about this now because I was going to save this for after we finish talking about it, but I guess we're done talking about E3. Let's talk about Sony pulling out the Neo. I don't think that was a mistake. I think it was the smartest thing they could have done.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think they caught wind of what this Project S looks like. I think they caught wind of it. I think they realized their mistake, and I think they're back at Sony HQ right now going back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be completely honest with you, I do not see, after what Microsoft did, after the shot across the bow that they just performed, I do not see this being a 0.5 console.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not.
That is not what they described, the things that they talked about it with. This is not a 0.5 console. This is a brand new console. Project S is a brand new console. This is not an upgrade. This is not a Neo, like what they were kind of saying about it. This is none of that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a brand new console. The way they've talked about it, the core strength that they say they have on it, the board strength that they have on it. And here's my thing. This is my prediction for the Scorpio now, the Project S. It's going to have removable components.
We'll have to see. I mean, from the little presentation they gave on it or whatever, the little diagram, I could potentially see the graphics card being removable.
But that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about there's going to be a box, and there's going to be 2 slots in it. And in this 2 slots, they're already going to come with the 2 pieces. But when it comes time for them to say, okay, we're releasing this new slot, this new appendage into this thing, you pull it out, you slide the new one in. It's going to be they're going to be self-contained appendages. So appendage A and B, one will be the processor unit, one will be the graphics unit. And I'm seriously looking at this, and I think maybe once a year, they'll say, you're not buying a new console, you're buying a new appendage. You literally undo the latch on it, you pull it out. That right there is your dedicated graphics card.
Right.
You plug the new one in, you download the driver for it automatically, it installs it, and it's good to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is what I'm saying from it. From the way, and if this is just it, then I'm saying this is the new Xbox, because it's one or the other. It can't be either they're going to change the console forever or they're going to bring out a brand new console, because this is not a half-assed 0.5 at all.
Right. I completely agree with you. The fact that, I mean, if that, animated, look of the board or whatever is to be believed, that graphics card that they put on there was about the size of that board.
Mm-hmm.
And if and from the articles and stuff that I've seen and read and about prior to E3 about the Scorpio, about the Neo, for these new consoles that Sony and Microsoft are trying to put out, that's the whole point, is that they're trying to make something that where you're more like PC gaming, where you have your box, you have your main board, but you just change up pieces or change up parts.
And not only that,
every year or whatever.
Not only that, but look at what they're doing with their software. Xbox One, Windows 10 exclusive. How much longer until we see it just be Xbox Windows exclusive?
Right.
Like, this is just Xbox Windows exclusive. They're not doing a 0.5 console.
Mm-hmm.
That's not their intention. They said basically everything that we would have given you in a 0.5 console, we're going to give you with the Xbox One S.
You're right, the Slim or whatever.
The Slim, and here's the thing, I think the Slim was what Sony knew Microsoft was bringing. I don't think they knew that Microsoft was going to announce their Project S. Everybody has assumed that Project S is a reaction to Neo. I think the Neo is a reaction, or the Slim is a reaction to the Neo. I do not see the new Project S being a reaction to anything. I think this is their game changer. This is their shot across the bow. This is them saying, we are done with cable. We are done with everything that let us fall behind Sony, to the point where we have only had 2 months since the release of our console that we have been ahead of sales of this box that doesn't even have any damn exclusives for it.
Right.
Sony consistently has sold their hardware. They have outsold their hardware over Microsoft's. What, 10-1 now?
Something like that, yeah.
They've won. And this is them saying, you won, but this is the new fight.
Mm-hmm.
And if we thought, we always say, high tide raises all boats, right?
Right.
This isn't a high tide. This is a fucking monsoon coming in. And there's no ifs, buts, or about it. This is a shot across the bow. This is Microsoft saying, we're changing the game. And this is Sony pulling out from E3, which was going to be the big coming out party for the Neo.
Yeah.
Because you can see how this entire live orchestra could have been great if they had had the Neo.
Right, absolutely.
They didn't have any EA personalities up there. They threw away this idea that we're going to spend time with any of these. And this is the thing. I think EA having their own conference, I think all these places having their own conference, I think this is a reaction to basically the big two, Sony and Microsoft, saying we're no longer going to give you 30 minutes of PR bullshit.
Right.
Because there wasn't any. Like, man. It's crazy. We are in a crazy future right now. Where, I mean, after the success of the 360, to hear that the Xbox One was going to be so ass backwards was insane.
Right.
But to now see that the Microsoft Project S is going to be this insane machine that is basically the next console coming from them. I mean, Sony's scrambling. People who have been trying to push this Neo device are scrambling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be interesting because, I mean, this is where we're at. This is where the best of the best comes out of, when there's competition really biting at your heels.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm really looking forward to see what they do. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I completely agree. I think, Sony pulling the Neo was probably the best decision they made there. For the whole situation. I can see how maybe they thought the Xbox One S or the Slim or whatever was their Project Scorpio. If Microsoft did that on purpose, I mean, like, good on them, I guess, making Sony think that what they were offering was, or what they were going to be presenting was one thing, but it was completely, something else, or both really in this point. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with everything you said so far. So Microsoft really changing the game and saying, you know what, this is how we want to have consoles in the future, something that isn't necessarily dictated by, you don't have to, once you have this console, in the past you've bought this console and you're essentially stuck with it, as technology progresses in the next, coming years, and you don't buy a console for 4 or 5 years. Well, your console's technically out of date by probably year 1, maybe year 2.
If not earlier than that, from the date it launches, it's probably out of date.
The idea of having a console that you can change out components on is, I mean, it makes sense. We'll have to see how it's actually, if that's what they're trying to do with Scorpio,
right.
And I can see them wanting to have that capability or that aspect of it. We'll have to see how it's marketed and how it actually functions and how it works. But I can kind of see this this ploy or this play as trying to get more, maybe not necessarily aligned, but more aligned with maybe PC gaming.
I think so.
Having the capability of your PC gaming be astronomically different from console gaming. And the reason why PC gamers say, the whole PC master race or whatever, is because the people who play on PC do not want to sacrifice their performance for a console. The frame rates, the resolution, the processing power that you have on a custom built gaming PC outplays consoles in every aspect. With maybe the exception of multiplayer in some situations. The Xbox Live, the PSN network, having instant access to just be able to jump in with friends is probably the one benefit that the console has over PC. But then
I would also give them accessibility. Accessibility on a console. Things are way more easier. More advanced concepts are way more easier to be introduced on a console, technologically wise, than they are on PC. But keep going, please keep going. This is brilliant.
I was going to bring up Battlefront basically, but like Battlefront, the nice thing about playing Battlefront on your PC is you can have private servers. Something you can't do on a console, but I feel like Battlefield's kind of the exception there to kind of multiplayer, because Battlefront. They do multiplayer very, very well on the PC, and really well on consoles as well. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of, what I'm thinking is Microsoft is trying to get more of this clientele, or this market basically with PC gamers. So
I agree. And of course this is all conjecture on our part.
True.
But I mean, from what they're saying, the kind of emphasis that they're giving, the kind of hope that we see from the developers that they had in that video, the way that they were talking, not just about the power, but like you could tell Todd Howard was kind of like, Todd Howard especially loves to talk about how amazing technology is. I tell you, the day that I meet Todd Howard, I'm just going to give that man a hell of a hug, because of the work, not only the work he's done, but kind of the personality that he's had, being kind of like this really big super nerd.
Yeah.
But he comes out and he kills it every time he comes out on stage. He just kills it. And I was actually kind of really sad that he wasn't at Bethesda's conference, but I get it. He's hard at work where he's at. He can't leave work. Whatever he's doing, he can't leave. I get that. It just breaks my heart. I have a huge man crush on Todd Howard. To the point where, like, apparently the Fallout 4 LA release party was like chock full of like pseudo celebrities that were up in there, and a lot of them didn't recognize Todd Howard. A lot of them didn't know who he was, and a lot of people there apparently didn't even know what the hell Fallout was, which pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because if I was there with Todd Howard would have felt like a fucking rock star. Because I would have just said, if people were like, "Oh, who's that guy?" I'd be like, "You don't know who the hell Todd Howard? Why are you here? What? Get out. Take your gift bag, and leave. I don't need you here. Nobody needs you here. Nobody wants you here. Todd Howard is awesome." And like people were like getting Todd Howard to take pictures for them, like he's some sort of like plebeian, like he's one of them. Are you kidding? And of course, Todd Howard being the kind and gentle soul that Todd Howard is going to acquiesce and take the picture for you.
Right.
Because he is a gentleman. I'm a bit weird when it comes to like Todd Howard and a few other people in the gaming industry being treated like regular people. These are people who have taken ideas and fostered the ideas of other people's minds and brought them and made them art. And you dare consider them to be regular people like you or I. How dare you? Kojima, of course, is the biggest. That dude, I tweeted out, I'm like, that guy came out like a rock star, and he knew he was a rock star when he came out during the Sony conference. He is the only the only person who wasn't an actual Sony person, like personnel, to come out and like. And the best part was he didn't use a translator. Normally they make him use a translator, and he didn't use one. Like when he was with Konami, they always had a translator there. Which, by the way, Konami was apparently at E3, and their part of the hall was empty.
Nice.
Because they didn't have anything to show. But Chico Machines, get the hell out of here. Fuck you, Konami. But like this whole like trailer that he did with like naked Norman Reedus and like Invisible Baby. Like,
right.
I don't know what the hell it was, but it was amazing. I'm looking forward to it. And the best part is they're like, so that was basically Kojima saying, I found a game I found an engine that I want to use. That was his announcement.
Right.
That was his big announcement. I found an engine that I want to use. It's like, this dude has been locked away at Konami for such a long time that they kept him from really realizing how big of a deal he actually was.
Right.
And for him to be able to realize that now is just, it's to see an artist like Kojima get recognized like that is phenomenal. So, love the guy. Think the world of him. Apparently, he's a big cinephile. So, I love that. Yeah. He's a huge cinephile. Like, he loves movies more than anything else. Which is what I love about one of the things I love about him. But it's like, I'm not going to treat, like, Keiji Inafune, the man who created Mega Man, you're wanting me to treat him like a regular person. I will squeal like a teenage girl when I meet these people. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh.
I'm such a giant nerd, and I love it. I love being a giant nerd, both metaphorically and physically. I
There
love
you
it.
go.
Not really the physical part. Like I enjoy being a bigger guy. It's nice sometimes, but living in the summer in Arizona, it is not a nice thing to be a bigger guy. Oh, good heavens, it is hot. It is hot. Luckily, the AC kicked on, so I'm getting some cool air in here.
There you go.
But no, I think that was it for E3. Now I guess we're just on to general housekeeping. I don't think we got any Q&A, and I realized why. So Chandler, we picked a bad time to be asking people. We have the biggest thing, of course, in my world is I'm joking. It's not Money in the Bank from WWE. That is going on tonight, and I think it's concluding right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to actually stay away from Twitter. I'm like, is anybody tweeted at me? Anybody tweeted at me? No, okay. I don't want to notice. I don't want to know because I don't want to know who won some of these matchups. Additionally, we have the Cavaliers, Game 7 of the Cavs and Golden State Warriors.
Right. Shoot.
Nobody's watching us live. We could have done this just as a recording, and it would have been fine. But we decided we'd be we promised live, and we gave them live, even if they didn't watch it. So I noticed that. I was like, oh, that's right, Game 7. And I'm trying to stay away from Game 7 scores because I'm going to go back and look over the play-by-plays later like I normally do.
Yeah.
So for me, this is just I'm trying to stay away from social media as much as possible, which is the opposite of what usually happens on the show. But yeah, I'm trying to think about anything else that I want to talk about. And I don't think there is about E3. Is there anything that you want to talk about E3, Chandler?
Remastered Skyrim. I don't know how I.
Oh, fuck, right? Oh, geez. How did we forget about that?
I don't know.
The game that you and I, well, probably because for you and I, Skyrim was already remastered by ourselves.
True. And mods. When we talked about it last week, I was like, there's no way that this is going to be a thing. That's stupid. I was completely wrong.
They gave it to us, Chandler. They gave it to us.
They did. So.
And it's coming out later this year.
Yeah. October? Yeah, October.
October.
And on Steam, we get the free upgrade for it. So.
We do get the free upgrade for it. But I will probably still play it on console. Because I don't need the free upgrade for it. Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll run better that way. That way you don't have all these that's true.
Probably will.
Probably. Anyway, that's besides the point. Because, Skyrim Remastered. Now let's talk about another game. We talked about it a little bit earlier, Fallout 4. Now, Chandler, I had an idea that I decided to do. I'm going to be recording as soon as it's up in the air right now whether or not I'll do it off PC or off of console. I think I will do it off of PC. And capture some footage as far as that goes. I will be doing a Fallout 4 playthrough with all of the existing Fallout 4 DLC.
Okay.
So I will be doing that, and I will be recording footage for that. Now, Chandler, I understand with you being as busy as you are, I'm guessing you have not touched my Overwatch footage?
Not at all.
All right. So I'm gonna let you off the hook on that because I've decided that I'm going to use that to teach myself how to edit using Adobe Premiere.
There you go.
So I will be using Adobe Premiere to be editing stuff, and we will go from there off of that. But that is besides the point. That's just a little bit of announcement for you guys out there in the Knotty Gamers Nation. KGNs out there, you guys are awesome. We love you. I mean, any announcements for you, Chandler? I'm trying to think if there's anything for me, but that's about it.
No, not really. I mean, school-wise, I'm about to finish my first session, so that's exciting there, but that's about it. So,
there you go. Do you have a break between your first and second session or no?
I think I do. It's a week, so I have a week between now.
There you go. Rest up. Yeah. Get focused. Get calibrated. Ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else as far as house cleaning goes. I mean, this week I think we're going back to our regular Thursday night schedule.
Absolutely, yeah.
As far as that goes, I think that's it for us over here at Knotty Gamers. I would like to thank Chandler for doing the hosting on the call and everything. We understand that my internet is so terrible right now that even a live broadcast is going to have synchronization issues. So we understand that. We thank you guys for letting us know about that so we didn't just make that same mistake in the future. We will be working on that going forward, as well as several other things. But without anything else that we needed to talk to you about, we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to episode 19 of the Knotty Gamers Podcast, post E3 extravaganza. Once again, I won the E3 prediction game. I won. I lost.
Cameron won. Yes,
you admitted it, which is fact, but it's nice to hear you say it because sometimes you just won't admit it.
I thought about not saying anything.
I know you did, because that would have been right up your alley. But I only won, of course, by 0.25. So a quarter of a point is what separated the winners and the losers for the Knotty Gamers E3 prediction extravaganza. Of course, we'd like to thank you guys for all the support that you've given us, both on soundcloud.com/knottygamers as well as youtube.com. The faster we get up to 100 subscribers, the faster we can get that custom URL that you can just blast out to all of your friends, your homies, your dolls, your insert other slang term for people that you might know or be friendly with.
There you go.
And just want to thank all of you guys out there one last time. Especially want to thank bensound.com. bensound.com, of course, is where we get our intro and outro. We use it every week on the audio podcast. And we'd like to thank them over there for, just not getting on our case for missing a couple weeks of thanking them. Granted, your guys' support means the world to us, and nothing is bigger than that. So thank you. And as always, stay complicated. Normally, this is the point where I would cut the broadcast. So.
Doing that right now.
All right.